What's up, YouTube? This is Bystander X79. Alright guys, today I'm coming to you with my latest deck profile video for November 2021. And today guys, we're going to be looking at my updated Hieratic deck. Now Hieratics are a lighter tribute dragon type deck from way back early in the Zexal era. The archetype actually was introduced in the fourth core booster set for that era, and I can tell you right now, it was actually very awesome. You can build Xyz, build insane boards, and basically beat down your opponent. That was what the main goal of the deck was, and it still hasn't changed. The deck has picked up a few new tricks within the last year. Thanks to Ghost of the Past, we got a brand new Xyz monster as well as a brand new spell in the deck that can actually help you build up your Xyz even further. And to be very honest, the deck still works. For me, this is much more of a casual build. I do try to make it a little bit meta relevant with at least some hand traps and some back row in there. The deck does need, the archetype definitely needs help. It needs more interactions with your opponent's board, especially during their turn. But even with the lack of that, it's still a fun deck to play. Alright, so without further ado, we're going to be getting into this deck. As always, monsters first, and we'll be covering the starter cards. And the first starter card is going to be 3 copies of Hieratic Dragon of Esset. Esset's a very awesome level 5 dragon monster because you can actually normal summon it without having to tribute anything on the field. Its level becomes level 4, you reduce its attack to 1,000. And to be very honest, it works. All Hieratic monsters also have an effect whenever they're tributed. You actually get to special summon a normal monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard onto the field. And from there, you can actually use that normal monster to actually build into your Xyz, depending on what else you bring out. So definitely Esset is something you want to be seeing in your opening hand. If you don't see Esset in your opening hand, you want to be seeing one of 3 copies of Artillery Catapult Turtle. This awesome guy was actually released in the first of the current generation core booster sets. It just works. Basically, you can tribute one monster, special summon one level 5 dragon monster from your hand or your deck, and you can only use this effect once per turn. But listen, special summoning a level 5 dragon monster means you can easily access assets. So essentially, you're going to be running a 4th, 5th, and 6th copy of Esset. I am running one more level 5, and that's Hieratic Dragon of Nebthith. Nebthith is very awesome. You can special summon this card from your hand by tributing off a Hieratic monster from your field. And of course, tributing off that Hieratic monster from the field allows you to get your vanillas onto the field to get into your Xyz plays. Also, this guy has an additional effect where you can actually distribute one Hieratic monster, except for this card, from your hand or your side of the field to target one monster on your opponent's side of the field, and then you get to pop it. So you get some spot removal off of this card, which is actually pretty cool. You want to be special summoning with this guy from your hand via its effect, which is why you want to be seeing your starters very soon. The others, its counterpart, which handles the back row, you have 3 copies of Hieratic Dragon of Sue. Again, same things. Tribute a Hieratic monster from your field to special summon this guy, get your other vanilla monsters and get your Xyz plays going. Also, target one spell and trap card on your field, and tribute one of your Hieratic monsters from your hand or your field to pop that back row. So you get that spot fill removal. I know some people will prefer running more of Esset than Sue. I like Sue because the rank 6 options in this deck are just a little bit better, which is why I run 3. I'm also running 2 copies of Hieratic Dragon Tenefit. Tenefit is basically the Cyber Dragon of the Hieratic archetype. If your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this guy right from your hand. Downside is, the turn you special summon this, it's not going to be able to attack. You have to tribute it off. And that's where I'm kind of coming up really not in favor of running more than 1 copy of this card. I'm thinking I'm going to probably cut this card down to 1 and run an extra Nebthith. Just because The fact that, yeah, it needs your opponent to actually have a monster on the field to really be able to do anything. That being said, it is a level 6. You can go into your rank 6 plays. It does give you a go second option. But right now, this build is more centered for going first. So, yeah, definitely something to consider. Next up, we have a classic staple. I know this is an older version of the card, but Red Eyes Darkness Mallet Dragon. Basically, this guy is the card you're going to be special summoning off of the Xyz Hieratic Dragon King Attunes effect. Get him out, and then you be special summon a dragon monster from your graveyard or your hand to get more monsters on the field. It just adds to the explosiveness of the deck. And just remember, guys, this, even though this is the older version of the card, you still could only use this card's name's effect once per turn. Next up, we have 2 copies of Galactic Spiral Dragon. Just an amazing card in any dragon deck. If this card's in your graveyard and you have 2 or more light attribute dragon type monsters, which is not that hard, or a mix of light and dark, which is not that hard to do with this deck, you can special summon this guy from the graveyard, and then this guy's other effect can actually turn every single monster's level into level 8, just allowing you to go into rank 8 plays, and give the deck access to some pretty powerful plays, in my opinion. So he's definitely worth having in your deck. An old staple that I like to run in this deck is 2 copies of Dragguard. Dragguard is actually very awesome. When this card's normal summon, you get to target 1 normal monster with 1,000 or less attack in your graveyard and special summon the target in face-up defense position. Once per turn, you contribute 1 dragon type monster and target 1 face-up monster you control until the end of the turn. Its level becomes 8, and then if it does, it gains 800 additional attack. Very awesome. Typically, you could be bringing back one of your normal monsters that's part tuner, so you can actually be able to go into a synchro plane. Which is why we want him in the deck. It's a very awesome play, to be very honest. Next up, we have the Vanillas. I'm running 1 copy of Dragon Core Hexer, 1 copy of Laborite Dragon, and then 1 copy of Curse of Dragon. These are pretty much what I'm running. Core Hexer is a tuner, and it's level 8, so you go into rank 8 plays. Laborite Dragon is also a tuner, and can absolutely go into your level 6, and Curse of Dragon is just a level 5 to help you get into a level 5 play, your rank 5 play. So that's pretty much it. Again, you can special summon these cards from hand, deck, or graveyard whenever you attribute off 1 of your Hieratics. Last but not least, we have 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Again, you have to run hand traps in this deck because of the way the meta is shaping up, and just trying to stall your opponent out by interfering with their searches. Always a good idea. If you don't like Ash, Droll is the best other option. If you want to add in more effect negation, effect valor, you want to hit the graveyard, Ghost Spell, or Skullmaster, you get the whole idea. Yeah, use the hand traps you want to use in this deck. Alright, for the spells, we got 2 copies of Dragon Shrine. Again, getting cards into the graveyard, kind of a big deal with this particular deck. So if you send the vanilla monster from your graveyard, you can also send an additional monster with it. Typically, you want to send one of your vanillas with Galactic Spiral Dragon just to be able to set up your graveyard and get those plays going. Next up, 3 copies of Hieratic Seal of Convocation. This is the rotative spell for your Hieratics. Searches your deck for any Hieratic monster you need. And of course, the new spell on the block is 3 copies of Hieratic Seal of Creation. Now, Creation is actually very awesome because you can actually target... This card is kind of like a rank-up card for the Hieratics. Basically, what you can do is you target 1 Dragon Xyz monster you control. And then basically you're allowed to Xyz summon another Hieratic Xyz monster on top of that monster. It counts as an Xyz summon. You transfer the materials, the whole shebang, and you're able to basically turn any other Dragon Xyz monster into a Hieratic Dragon Xyz, which is actually pretty cool, especially with the new rank 8 that the Hieratics have. Also, while this card is in the graveyard, it acts as a monster reborn for the Hieratic archetypes. You can actually get your Hieratic monsters back onto the field if you need tribute fodder. Next up, we have Monster Reborn, because there are other monsters in this deck that really would need to be able to be brought back from the graveyard. And last but not least, Since this is an Xyz deck and it runs with normal monsters, you have to run Piercing the Darkness. Piercing the Darkness, whenever you special summon a normal monster, whether it be during yours or your opponent's turn, you draw that card. So it gives you your consistency boost. Anytime an Xyz monster or a Xyz monster, a Synchro monster, that was made with a vanilla monster, attacks, is attacked, it actually gets that honest effect, which is just insane and helps you beat over your opponent, which is always good. Alright, for back row, I am running 2 copies of Solemn Strike. Takes care of special summons as well as monster effects. And then I am running 3 copies of Solemn Judgment. I like the coverage of Solemn Judgment over Solemn Strike, primarily because you can use this card at any point during the duel. That's why I favor it over Strike. However, if you feel that this deck needs more monster effect negation, you can always swap out a Solemn Judgment for an additional Strike. Alright, so that's the main deck. We're going to go into the extra. Alright, starting off with 2 copies of Hieratic Dragon King of a Tomb. This is your key rank 6 play. Once he's on the field, you attach a material and you're special summoning a Dragon type monster from your deck to your field. Its attack and defense are bottom out to 0, but you still get its effects. So typically, like I said before, you're bringing out Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon to get additional bodies on board. From there, if you have the Seal Creation, you're going to be going into Hieratic, Sky Dragon, Overlord of Heliopolis. This is the new Hieratic monster introduced from Ghost of the Past. You can make it with 2 level 8s, or you can use the Creation spell. So it's easy to get out in this particular deck. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a card order effect that targets cards on your field or your graveyard or your banished cards, quick effect, you can attach 1 material from this card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. So you get an effect. Yeah, it kind of sucks that your opponent has to target something, but there are cards that do that, and this is a great counter to something like Forbidden Droplet. Alright, for the rank 8 plays, well, we do Draglubian, I know I butchered that name, number 100, number 1 dragon, and then we have the number 92 Hard Hearth Dragon. You've seen this in other decks. Again, I can pound out rank 8s in specifically my Blue Eyes. Typically, depending on when you're going, if you're going first, you want to have Hard Hearth, basically because this card, battle damage you would receive is actually inflicted on your opponent, and then it has that nasty little effect where you can detach a material during the end phase and just basically banish anything that was normal summon, special summon, or set during your opponent's turn, and just get it off the field. Number 1 Dragon is in there if you want to be going for a big punch, and Draglubian is just to be able to facilitate these plays. Alright, for some non-Dragon Xyz, this is a light attribute deck, so you want to be running Constellar Pleiades. Once per turn during either player's turn, so it's a quick effect. You can actually detach 1 material and target 1 card on the field, and return that target to the hand. So you can return any card to your hand, whether it be on your field or your opponent's. Typically, you want to be interfering with your opponent, so that's why he's here. And of course, another rank 6 play is number 39, Utopia Beyond. This card is just insane because the second this card hits the field, it bottoms out your opponent's attack to 0 on every monster, and it's a permanent attack decrease. So yeah, definitely it helps you swing big and swing hard. And last but not least, for the Xyz, we have 1 copy of Divine Arsenal, AA Zeus the Sky Thunder. He brings a Thunder in this Xyz deck. Anytime your Xyz monsters battle, you can actually special summon this guy from your extra deck. Get an additional attack, which is awesome. You can also detach materials from this guy, clear off the field of other cards you don't need, and basically ruin your opponent's day with this guy. So, yeah. For some secret plays, the secret plays really focus around getting out your 2 tuners, which is either Labora Dragon or Core Hexer, and you want to be matching them with a different non-tuner monster with the same level to get Ultimaya Zolkin. Anytime you set a card with Zolkin on the field, you're going to be able to special summon a level 8 or level 7 dragon type monster, synchro monster from your graveyard, so you actually are able to do Crystal Wing, Synchro, Actually, for that, yeah. And that's the only play because you want to get the monster effect negate. And Crystal Wing Singer is not that bad of a slouch of a card to really deal with. The other card, which is the Dragard Synchro play, gets you the Drukhidus Corrupted Nether Soul Dragon. This guy is pretty nasty because he can actually turn around and can't be destroyed battle. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you activate this card. This effect, this card can make it a second attack on your opponent's monster in a row. So you get additional attacks of a 4,000 attack point body. During your standby phase, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Half that monster's attack, and if it does, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack points that monster loses. So yeah, you could actually really just burn out your opponent and get that little extra damage to help you get the wins. Finally, we have a couple of links. Well, this is a Hieratic deck, so you want to be running the Hieratic Link monster, Hieratic Seal of Heavenly Spheres. Once per turn, if this card in the extra monster zone, quick effect, you contribute one monster from your hand or your field, which is just amazing with your Hieratics. Return one face-up card on the field to the hand. If this card is distributed, you get to special summon one dragon monster from your hand or deck to the field, make its attack points 0, and then you can only use one effect of Hieratic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres once per turn. But hey, it is worth it and it gets the job done. It's a great interference card. The other Link monster is actually the Xyz support Link, the Bujinki Ashimiya. Can't be used as a Link material, so it kind of sucks in that regards. But if this card is Link summoned, you can actually special summon one monster with two monsters with the same level, one from your hand, one from your graveyard, but negate the effects, and after the effect resolves, immediately Xyz summon that with those monsters. So that's actually pretty cool. Also, if a Xyz monster activates its effect while this card is pointing at it, you could actually turn around and target one spell and trap card and destroy it. So you get a little extra back row interference with this card on the field. So all in all, it's not a bad card, and this helps the deck get going a little bit better. Alright guys, that is it for my Hieratic Dragon deck profile for November 2021. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. Enable notifications so you don't miss any uploads. Check out the description box below. Find the invite link to my Discord server. Join the conversation. We'll love to have you. Check out my affiliates, tcgplayer.com, as well as sidedeckversus.com. Great resources for any Yu-Gi-Oh player, as well as a way to support the channel. Follow me on social media, and guys, until next time, peace.